In the year 2489, Earth was no longer the center of human civilization. Humanity had spread across more than 30 star systems, building colonies, cities, and stations around distant suns. But in this wide galaxy filled with alien species, humans had learned to survive through one secret: they could blend in. Every human who left Earth was trained to use a bioshield, a living disguise of nanotech that could mimic alien skin, colors, or even body structures. It kept them safe from species that might see humans as primitive or dangerous. Only among their own kind could they remove their disguise and reveal who they really were. Rhea was one of those humans. She had lived for 2 years on Viren Station, a sprawling orbital city owned by the alien race called the Qatari, tall, luminous beings with skin like liquid glass. To them, Rhea looked like one of their own, a pale, glowing creature with eyes of silver. But beneath that disguise, she was human. Brown skin, black hair, and green eyes hidden under layers of nanofiber. Her mission was simple: observe and report. She was part of the Terran Diplomatic Corps, working undercover to ensure peace between the Qatari and the scattered human colonies. But things had become complicated because of him. Kyle, another human agent, had entered the station 6 months ago. He worked as her partner and cover identity, posing as her boyfriend, another Qatari diplomat. Together, they maintained the illusion of a perfect alien couple, while quietly gathering intelligence. Rhea had grown used to his calm voice, his precise movements, and his quiet humor. But lately, she sensed something different. Kale had become distant, watching her with eyes that seemed to search deeper than her disguise could hide. That evening, Rhea returned to her quarters, a crystalline suite glowing with soft blue light. She had just finished sending her encrypted report to Earth when the door slid open behind her. "Rhea," Kale said quietly. His silver alien eyes caught the light. "We need to talk." She turned, surprised. "Now?" "It's past cycle end." He stepped inside, letting the door close behind him. "Yes, it's important." There was tension in his voice, something urgent but controlled. Rhea frowned. "What's wrong?" Kale didn't answer right away. Instead, he walked past her, looking around the room as if checking for hidden devices. Then suddenly he reached out, took her hand, and pulled her gently toward the inner chamber, the private space Qatari used for rest and reflection. "Kyle," she began. Confused, he leaned close, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Rhea, take off your disguise in front of me." Her heart skipped a beat. "What?" He met her eyes. "Please." "Just do it," she froze. Every human on mission knew the rules. Never remove your disguise outside secure areas, not unless you were certain no alien surveillance was active. If caught, they could be executed for espionage. "Kale, that's forbidden," she said softly. "You know that." "I know," he replied, his tone steady. "But you need to trust me. I've checked the sensors. We're alone." Rhea hesitated, studying his expression. He wasn't joking, and there was no hint of madness, just determination and something else. "Fear. Why?" she asked. Kyle took a deep breath. "Because someone's watching us, Rhea. Someone who already knows we're not what we claim to be." Her stomach turned cold. "What do you mean?" He pointed toward the wall. "A Qatari elder, name's Velan. He's been tracking our movements. He's noticed the small things. The way you blink too often, the way your skin doesn't reflect heat properly. He's suspicious. I think he's preparing to expose us." Rhea felt her pulse racing. "And removing my disguise will help how?" "Because I need to show you something," Kyle said. "Something I found. But I can't, not while your bioshield is active." She looked at him for a long moment, torn between duty and trust. Kale had saved her life once before, when a data leak nearly revealed her human heartbeat pattern. He had always been calm, logical. If he said this was necessary, maybe it truly was. "All right," she whispered. The nanotech disguise shimmered faintly as she touched the small silver node behind her neck. A ripple spread across her skin and the pale light faded away. In seconds, her true form emerged. Dark brown skin, short black hair, human eyes of deep green. The illusion was gone. She felt strangely vulnerable, standing there without the mask that had kept her alive. Kyle's silver eyes softened. "There you are," he said quietly, almost with relief. Rhea felt her face warm. "Now tell me what this is about." Kale reached into his tunic and pulled out a small metallic crystal. "This was hidden in one of the Qatari archives," he said. "Encrypted. But when I decrypted it, it wasn't alien data. It was human, Rhea blinked. Human? How? It's a message, Kale said. From Earth Command. Dated 3 months ago. Why didn't I receive it? He met her gaze again. Because it wasn't meant for both of us. It was meant for me, and it said you're not who you think you are. Rhea took a step back. What are you talking about? The message says you were created, Kyle continued, his voice low. A synthetic. A construct with human DNA and artificial memory. They said you were made to test long-term infiltration, to see if a hybrid human could survive among aliens. That's impossible, Rhea said, shaking her head. I remember Earth, I remember my parents. Kale looked pained. I thought you did. But they might be implants. The message contained genetic data. Your genome isn't fully human. For a long moment there was silence, only the low hum of the station's life systems. Rhea turned away, trembling. You're lying. I wish I was, Kyle said softly. I've been trying to protect you. But if Valen learns what you are, he won't just expose you, he'll use you. She closed her eyes, breathing hard. The words felt unreal. She had lived 28 years believing she was human. Every memory, every heartbeat, could it all be false? Kale stepped closer. We don't have much time. I need you to trust me. There's a way to find out the truth. A hidden human lab on the lower levels of the station. We go there, we access your genetic data directly. Rhea looked up slowly. And if you're wrong? Then I'll take full responsibility, Kale said. You'll never hear from me again. The door alarm suddenly flickered red. Both of them turned toward it. Someone was outside. Kale's hand moved to his wrist, activating the neural scanner. The signal flashed. Qatari signature detected. It's Valen, Kale whispered. Rhea's heart pounded. She reached for her disguise node, but Kale grabbed her wrist gently. No time, he'll sense the energy surge. The lights dimmed. The door began to slide open. Kale moved fast, stepping in front of her. Stay behind me, he murmured. The crystalline door revealed a tall, luminous figure. Valen with eyes like molten silver. His voice echoed softly. Rhea. Kale, you have been very interesting to watch. Rhea froze, unable to speak. Valen tilted his head. Tell me, little ones, why do your hearts beat unlike any Qatari? The air felt thick with fear. Kyle tensed, his mind racing. He had one chance to protect her secret, or the truth would end them both. Valen stood in the doorway, tall and graceful, his translucent body glowing with soft white light. The room shimmered under his presence. His eyes, liquid silver and sharp as blades, shifted from Kale to Rhea. Neither of them moved. Rhea's heart thudded hard in her chest. Without her disguise, her human form was exposed. Brown skin, black hair, and green eyes that no Qatari could mistake for their own. If Valen saw clearly, the secret mission would be over. Kale stepped forward, his tone calm and diplomatic. Elder Valen, he said, you honor us with your presence. We did not expect. Valen raised one long glass-like hand. Silence, the word carried power. It wasn't shouted, but it vibrated through the air, commanding obedience. Kale froze. Valen walked closer, circling them like a curious scholar studying rare creatures. His glow dimmed slightly and he tilted his head. Two beings hiding behind false light. Very strange. You are not Qatari. You pulse with warmth. You breathe too quickly. Rhea's mouth went dry. Elder Velen, He stopped before her, his expression unreadable. You are not what you seem, but you are not like any alien I have met before either. Kale clenched his fists, ready to act if needed. His neural scanner detected no weapons on Velen, but that didn't matter. The Elder's kind could project energy fields strong enough to break steel. What are you going to do with us? Kale asked quietly. Velen looked at him for a moment, then smiled faintly. That depends. Tell me why two creatures wearing my people's skin live among us. If you lie, I will know. Rhea exchanged a quick glance with Kale. The truth was dangerous, but lies would only make things worse. She took a steady breath. We are humans, she said softly. From Earth, Valen blinked. Earth? The primitive world that was destroyed in the ancient wars? Not destroyed, Kale said quickly. Still alive. Our people survived and grew. We learned to travel the stars. Valen's expression changed. A flicker of curiosity, then disbelief. Impossible. The Qatari archives say humanity perished centuries ago. Rhea shook her head. Your archives were wrong. We hid, we learned to adapt, and now we seek peace. Valen stepped back, silent for a long moment. The glow in his body shifted to a pale blue, a color the Qatari used when they were thinking deeply. Finally, he spoke. If what you say is true, then humanity has done what few species could. You escaped extinction. Rhea nodded. Yes, but we also learned to hide because not all races welcome us. Valen's gaze turned sharp again. And why are you here, hiding among us? Kale took a step forward. To learn. To understand. The Terran Command sent us to study your society, to prevent misunderstandings that could lead to war. Valen's eyes glowed brighter. So you spy. Kale didn't deny it. Yes, but only to keep peace. Silence filled the room again. The tension was thick enough to choke. Then Valen sighed, the light in his body fading to a soft silver again. I should turn you in, yet I sense no malice in your voices. Rhea felt a spark of hope. Then you'll let us go? Valen didn't answer right away. Instead, he turned and walked toward the window that overlooked the endless stars outside. Your kind is curious, he murmured. The galaxy believed you gone, and yet here you are, pretending to be something else. Hiding in plain sight, he turned back to face them. Leave this station, tonight, before dawn cycle. If you stay, others will find out. I will erase your traces from the surveillance logs. But go, Kale bowed slightly. We are grateful, Elder Valen. Valen nodded slowly. Do not mistake my mercy for trust. The Qatari Council would not be as kind. Without another word, he stepped back toward the door. But just before it closed, he looked at Rhea again. And you, the one with green eyes, that you are not like the other human. There is something different in your light. Remember that, then he was gone. The room fell silent. Rhea turned to Kale, her face pale. He knows, Kyle exhaled slowly. Yes, but he's giving us a chance. She sat down on the glowing crystal bench, her mind spinning. He said I'm different. Kale looked at her carefully. That's because you are, she met his gaze. You still think I'm artificial? He hesitated, then nodded. The data I found is it's real, Rhea, but that doesn't make you less human. She looked away. It feels like it does. Kyle knelt beside her. You breathe, think, feel, and fight. That's more human than any test can measure. Rhea gave a weak smile, but her thoughts were storming inside. If she wasn't born but built, what did that make her mission mean? Was her loyalty real or programmed? Kale rose. We have to leave before the next cycle. Phelan's protection won't last long. Rhea nodded and stood up. Together they began to pack their data chips and field tools. The bioshield nanotech shimmered back over her skin, turning her once more into a glowing Qatari. Kale did the same, their alien forms perfect again. When they stepped out into the corridor, everything looked calm. The same crystalline halls, the same floating orbs of light drifting through the air. But beneath that calm, the station felt different. Every sound made Rhea's heart jump. As they approached the transport docks, Kale suddenly stopped. Wait, he touched his wrist scanner. The screen blinked red. What is it? Rhea whispered. There's a lock on our ship. Someone disabled the launch codes. Rhea's stomach twisted. Velen? Kale shook his head. No, someone else. A voice echoed behind them. Going somewhere, my little spies? They turned. Standing at the end of the corridor was a Qatari officer, tall and cold, surrounded by 2 security drones. His armor glowed with gold light. Commander Terrell, head of station security. Kale's pulse spiked. We were summoned to the outer docks. Lies, Terrell interrupted, his tone sharp. We've been monitoring your quarters. Elder Velen has reported unusual energy fluctuations. You are under investigation. Rhea stepped back, her mind racing. Velen had said he'd erase their traces but maybe even he couldn't hide everything. Kale raised his hand slightly, a gesture of peace. Commander, there's a misunderstanding. Enough! Terrell snapped. Deactivate your bioshields. Rhea froze. If they obeyed, their human forms would be revealed to every sensor in the corridor. If they refused, they'd be stunned or worse. Kale's eyes flicked to her, and she understood. Run. In one swift motion, he grabbed her hand and pulled her toward the maintenance shaft on their left. Alarms blared as the drones activated pursuit mode. Stop them, Terrell shouted. Energy bolts sizzled through the air. Rhea ducked as one scorched the wall beside her. Kale hit the emergency lock panel and the shaft door opened. They jumped inside, sliding down the narrow tunnel as the alarms roared above them. The fall ended in a lower level filled with shadows and humming machinery. Steam hissed from pipes as they landed hard on the metal floor. Rhea gasped for breath. Now what? Cale tapped his scanner again. We're near the restricted zone, and the one Velan said was sealed. The lab? He nodded. If the data's right, that's where we'll find your truth. And maybe a way out. They moved quickly through the maze of tunnels, the faint hum of drones echoing behind them. Finally, they reached a large metal door marked with an ancient Terran symbol, a small blue circle with a white star. Rhea's heart raced. This shouldn't exist here. Cale placed his hand on the scanner. The door blinked, analyzed his DNA, and opened with a hiss. Inside was a chamber filled with old human equipment, cryo-tanks, data consoles, and holoscreens glowing weakly. Dust floated in the air, untouched for decades. Rhea stepped forward slowly, staring at a nameplate on the central console. It read, Project Aurora, Human Integration Prototype. Subject RTA-09. Her knees went weak. She reached out and touched the name. That's me. Kyle stood beside her, silent. The holoscreen flickered to life, showing a recording. A human scientist speaking to the camera. If you're seeing this, the woman said softly, then our plan worked. You are the first successful hybrid. Human mind, synthetic resilience. You were created to prove humanity can survive anywhere, even among the stars. Rhea's eyes filled with tears. So it's true. Cale placed a hand on her shoulder. You were meant to show what humanity can become. Before she could reply, a sudden explosion shook the chamber. The ceiling lights flickered red. They found us, Cale said grimly. Rhea turned toward him, fear and fire in her eyes. Then let's show them what humans can do. The chamber shook violently as the walls rattled and dust fell from the ceiling. Rhea gripped the edge of the console, her heart pounding. The explosion wasn't far away. Whoever had discovered Project Aurora was moving fast. Kyle immediately activated his wrist scanner. They've deployed security teams, he said grimly. We need to act now. Rhea looked around at the cryo-tanks, the old machinery, the flickering holoscreens. The evidence of her creation, her origin, was all here. It was terrifying yet empowering. She was not just human. She was proof of humanity's ingenuity, resilience, and adaptability. Cale grabbed her hand. Ready? Rhea nodded. Let's finish this. They moved swiftly through the maintenance tunnels. The station above was on high alert. Every corridor they crossed had surveillance drones scanning for life signatures. But Rhea had an idea. If they could temporarily scramble the biosignature readings, the drones would see them as nothing more than shadows. Cale nodded in agreement. I'll handle the drone scramblers. You focus on the main access. Rhea activated the small device hidden in her belt. Tiny pulses of energy spread through the ducts, interfering with the station's sensors. The lights flickered and the nearest drones froze mid-air, their scanning beams stuttering. Cale signaled her to move, and they continued their race toward the upper levels. The corridors opened into the main docking bay. Ships lined the hangar like silent sentinels. Security forces swarmed the area, scanning for intruders. At the far end stood Commander Tyrell, his golden armor shining. Flanked by 4 elite drones, Rhea felt fear gnaw at her. But Cale's steady presence beside her reminded her, they were not helpless. Cale whispered, remember what Velan said. Trust your instincts. Show them who you are. Rhea's heart surged. She took a deep breath, letting the confidence of humanity fill her. Even if she had been created, her mind, her courage, and her choices were her own. Cale moved first. He raised his hands and spoke in the Qatari tongue, his voice carrying authority. Step aside, Commander. There is no need for bloodshed. Tyrell's eyes narrowed. You will surrender immediately. Rhea stepped forward, her voice steady. We are not surrendering. Kyle glanced at her, surprised. She had never spoken so boldly in front of alien authority before. But there was something magnetic about the truth in her voice. It demanded recognition. The drones moved closer, ready to attack. Then Rhea did something daring. She deactivated her bioshield entirely. The glow faded, revealing her human form for all to see. Cale followed suit. The crowd froze. 2 humans, standing without disguise, in the middle of a Qatari docking bay. Gasps spread among the alien officers and crews. They had seen humans only in history logs, and even then, only as primitive beings. Yet here were 2, unshielded and unafraid, holding their ground. Trell stepped forward, voice trembling slightly. You are human, yes, Kale said, and we are not weak. We have survived the stars, adapted and learned. You may see us as fragile, but you underestimate what humanity can do. Rhea added, her green eyes blazing. We are the product of thousands of years of innovation, courage, and will. You cannot scare us, and you cannot destroy what humans are capable of. Something shifted in the room. The drones paused, unsure of how to respond. The Qatari officers whispered among themselves. Rhea's words had power, not because of her physical strength, but because of the conviction behind them. Kale reached for the access console. We need control of the station or we won't get off safely. Rhea joined him, her hands flying across the holographic keys. Her hybrid knowledge allowed her to bypass security protocols faster than any human or Qatari could. Within moments, they had locked the doors behind them, deactivated the security drones, and rerouted the surveillance feeds. Trell watched in disbelief. How? Rhea smiled faintly. Because humans never give up. We adapt, we survive. That is what makes us human. The station lights shifted as the lockdown systems recognized the override. Other officers realized the futility of resisting. Slowly, murmurs of awe spread. Humans. Real humans. Standing fearless, controlling technology that even the Qatari respected. Kale whispered to Rhea, We have seconds. Let's go. They sprinted toward their assigned ship, weaving through corridors now empty of opposition. As they boarded the small transport, Rhea glanced back at the bay. The Qatari officers stared after them, stunned. Not just by their survival, but by their courage, intelligence, and composure. The engines hummed. The docking clamps released. The transport lifted into the dark void of space. Stars stretched into streaks as they accelerated away from Viren Station. Kale exhaled, slumping into his seat. We did it. Rhea looked out the viewport, staring at the station shrinking behind them. We did more than that. We proved something. Humans are not fragile, Kale said. Even when others doubt us, we survive. We adapt, we rise, Rhea nodded. A warmth spread through her chest. Even if she had been created as part of Project Aurora, her courage, choices, and spirit were hers alone. Humanity was not just surviving in the galaxy. It was thriving. Suddenly, a message came through on the comms. It was from Velen. His silver glow filled the holographic screen. You have done well, he said simply. You have shown what humans can achieve. And perhaps, I misjudged your kind. Rhea and Kale exchanged a glance. Even an elder Qatari had recognized the truth. Humans, whether born naturally or constructed, were remarkable. Velen continued. There are other stations where your people are hidden. Use this opportunity wisely. The galaxy will remember your light. The screen went dark. Rhea felt tears welling up, but they were not tears of fear. They were tears of pride. Kale reached over, taking her hand. This is just the beginning, he said. The galaxy will never forget humanity again. Rhea smiled, gripping his hand tightly. No matter what they thought we were. They now know what we are capable of. The transport soared into the endless stars, leaving the station behind. In the dark expanse, Rhea felt an overwhelming sense of belonging. She was human. She was strong. And she was free. Above them, the stars glimmered like scattered diamonds across the black sky. Each one a reminder that humans, no matter where they began, had the courage to reach further, to endure, and to rise. Rhea leaned back, finally letting herself relax. Kale watched her, admiration in his eyes. Do you believe it now? He asked quietly. Rhea nodded. I believe it. Humanity is more than genes or origin. It's courage, ingenuity, heart, and now, we've proven it. Kyle smiled, and the transport sailed into the unknown, carrying two humans, symbols of the strength, resilience, and indomitable spirit of their species. And somewhere across the galaxy, the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter, as if acknowledging that humanity had arrived, not as prey, not as shadow, but as a force to be reckoned with.